We're
Maybe
recording.
take your video off or something like that. Hey everyone, welcome to
Yeah.
the I guess what is it? Meet and greet. 3-day
Yep.
body class. Awesome. So glad that you put this together so fast. What magical creators you are. And I'm really honored and privileged to be able to come to India and not only to facilitate the 3-day body class, to facilitate your bodies, to facilitate your beings, but even like your ancestors too, they get excited as well. Um, there's so many ancestors and spirits, basically in the spirit world, and, they get excited when we choose access classes and all that. So, I mean, for me, it's an honor to be able to come to a city and a country that has such a long history of human life and to be able to deliver these amazing tools of access consciousness is, for me, it's an honor and a privilege. And it's like, not only are we facilitating consciousness for the people who attend the class, we're actually facilitating consciousness for the earth. We're facilitating consciousness to disembodied beings, okay? Because, a lot of us have this point of view that when people die, all of a sudden they become more conscious. Well, what if that was an interesting point of view? And what if that was not necessarily true? And so when we choose consciousness in whatever way, shape, or form, when we choose total receiving, which is what the tools of access consciousness are designed to do, is to help you to receive everything without a point of view. Everything. Not just the great stuff, like more money and better sex and better relationships, but even the drama and traumas, even the ugly, even the smelly, even the dirty, without a point of view. Because if we're willing to receive everything, if we're willing to have total receiving without a point of view, then we actually have everything available to us. And we can create whatever life that we choose to create simply based on choice, as long as we don't have a point of view about what we're aware of. And that's what I love about these tools of access consciousness. That's what one of my targets is when I do a 3-day body class, is to not only to create the space to help your bodies to receive more, but to also increase your level of awareness without points of view. Because when you can have that, when your awareness can expand, and as long as you don't have points of view about what you're aware of, then you never have to suffer your awareness, and you have everything available to you to create the life that you desire. Everything. And every point of view that we actually take creates a physical solidification in our body. And so again, like, my target is not only just to help your bodies, but to also contribute to your beings, contribute to the earth, contribute to creating the space that have your bodies be more vibrationally compatible to the earth, and to also unlock those unique energies that only you have, nobody else. Nobody else, because nobody else is you. And then how can you take those unique energies and be a contribution? Not just you giving, but also allowing the universe to contribute to you, just as much so. But you can't decide what you let the universe contribute, because you may become aware of things that are not pleasurable. Consciousness is not easy. It's not easy. It's not always warm and fuzzy. But if you're willing to look at what is, you have everything available to you. Everything. And so I'm excited, if you can tell. I'm super excited.
Oh, yes.
And
can I
it's
just come in here for a second, Anthony?
Yeah.
Please? I really found what you just said about you don't have to suffer your awareness.
Yeah.
And, that's something that's so interesting. Can you speak a little bit more about that? And bodies, I mean, what exactly is that?
Yeah, well, it's like, you know, it's like even people who've been in, well, first of all, people who choose access consciousness are very psychic people. They're different, you know, we're all very different, right? We, we probably didn't fit the norm of what this reality says is normal, right? And that's why we're doing things and exploring things like access consciousness amongst probably a lot of other things. But what I have found and what I see, that most people that are psychic or empathic or that are healers, sexual healers, energetic healers, um, people that are congruent with the earth, a lot of the times you see so many people suffering their abilities and capacities. It's like their bodies hurt or they're always depressed, right? And it's like, and they're buying all their thoughts, feelings, and emotions as real as if it's theirs. And it's just really awareness. So what I'm saying, and then the more access consciousness that we do, the more aware that we become, not less aware. But you see, it's our points of view about what we become aware of that actually lock us up and hurt our bodies. It's everywhere where we make the dramas and traumas of this reality real and true. So it's like the more aware you become, what we do is we have points of view about what we're aware of, meaning like we make it either a good thing that we're aware of or a bad thing that we're aware of, as opposed to it just being something we're aware of. But every time we have a point of view, it locks onto the body and it creates an intensity or a pain, or it messes with our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, right? So we may feel depressed. We're like, wow, what's going on? I've been doing access for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, spending all this money. Why do I feel so heavy all the time? You know what I mean? And it's just called awareness. It's called awareness. I know Aradhana's in Talk to the Entities right now, advance. And I remember, you know, Julie was actually having a hard time not too long ago. And I'm like, are you doing your office hours? So she never listens to me, right? Spouses never listen to each other, right? So who the hell am I? You know, that's just like an
That's
unwritten
condition
rule.
number one to be married. Don't listen to each other.
No, it's weird. It's like an unwritten rule. If you get married, never listen to your spouse or your lover. But she calls Gary. She's like, Anthony thinks I need to get back to my office hours. And he goes, you actually need to have awareness hours. Yeah. Wow. Awareness hours. And what does that mean? It's actually getting present, really present with who does this belong to. Not just like when you feel sad or angry or heavy, you go, return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. And you do it sort of like on the surface, right? Or you start automatically clearing entities, for example, right? You've learned this all in your foundation, right? And nothing works. I cleared entities all day long. Nothing works. Well, that's because you didn't get present with it. Did you communicate with the entities? Did you give back to the earth? How long did you actually stay present with who does this belong to and really look at the energies of what's going on? Because it's just your awareness that you're buying is real and true. So over these next 3 days, or those next 3 days, especially with the body classes, and you create the class, by the way, I don't have an agenda. I do have a hope and target, but you all create the class based on the questions that you ask. But, you know, my job as a facilitator, though, is to help you. You're already aware. You're already aware, and you're going to become more aware after these classes. But my hope as a facilitator is to kind of guide you in how to use the tools more efficiently and how to get present with the tools and not just use the tools like on the surface and then wondering why your life is still crap after you invested all this money in access, right? It's because you haven't gotten present with your awareness, really sitting with it, right? And so, you know, and I didn't realize that until about 2 years ago. I've been in access 7.5 years, and it really wasn't until 2 years ago where it was after I facilitated a foundation and talked to an entities class in Russia, and I started to feel this depression coming over me, and there was no logical reason for me to be depressed. My life is amazing, but yet I'm like, why do I feel depressed, right? So I did the on the surface, who does this belong to? Return it to sender with conscious attached. I cleared entity, nothing, right? So then I'm like, you know what? I need to go deeper into this, even if I feel like I'm going to die. And it required this level of vulnerability. Please read that in your foundation manual. Vulnerability is being as the open wound, and being, being willing to have raw skin where you're sensitive to everything, but it's also not having a point of view about what you're aware of. But if you're willing to be vulnerable, as I was it took me about an hour. And not only was I clearing entities, I was communicating with them. I was giving back to the earth. I was having gratitude for the nature spirits and ancestors. I was having gratitude for my own body. And literally the next morning I woke up and that deep melancholia of awareness that I was having was completely gone. And none of it was mine. It was the earth communicating with me. It was spirits communicating with me. And especially for all of you in India, you have such a deep, rich history of people that have come and gone there. You have ancestors all around you. What does that mean? You're going to be aware all the time. You don't get a vacation from your awareness. I'm sorry. And you never did. And you can pull the blankets over your head at night and ignore the entities that you know are there. You know what I mean? But it's like, you don't get a break. And that's what's beautiful about these tools, is that you have these tools available. Use them, but don't just use them on the surface. In the beginning, that's okay if you're new to Access. But, for Arandana and Isha and Chandana, it's like, you're going to have to go deeper with it. And really, really destroy and uncreate all your expectations of everyone else that you expect to be conscious and that aren't. Or at least at a particular 10 seconds, they may not be choosing it. We can't have a point of view about what people choose or don't choose. The only thing we can be concerned about is what we're choosing. So again, so my target is to create this space where your bodies can receive more sexualness. I'm not talking about more copulation. Yes, you can have that if you want it, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
I want to
sexualness.
come here. I mean,
Yeah.
I know Anthony's awesome in that. I think Anthony already created that space, what we're talking right now. I think I know I'm in advanced class, but I think you are blowing my head to a different level altogether. Thank you for that.
You're
And I
welcome.
know that space has already been there. And what you're talking about, the sexual capacities of the body. I remember I had my first session with you, and my whole life after that has been shifting until today. And I think that was 3-4 years back.
Yeah.
And I know you have amazing capacities, and listening to what you've been saying and having the word with us right now is already way beyond. And I'm like, wow, what else is coming up in the next 3 days? When you're here, we're so grateful. I'm so excited.
Thank you. But, just so you know, you were a big part of that equation too. It wasn't just me. It was also, you're willing to receive that. And again, the people who choose to come to the 3-day body class, it's not about me, it's about us. It's about what beyond this reality are we all capable of creating together. And this amazing team that Isha and Shanada have created. It's about us, as a team. It's about us, for the people who actually come to the class, about what can we all create together through our questions and our vulnerability and our willingness to receive the kindness, caring, nurturing, and healing energies that these body processes actually offer. So thank you, Radha, for that. You are a big part of that as well. And that's a good point, because you still perceive that energy from 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And one session can last your whole life and into other lifetimes. Just so you know.
I always acknowledge that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So it's not about me, it's about us and what beyond this reality we all capable.
So true. And that's something that's actually so exciting me too, knowing that, receiving your ASB sessions, again, about the first one that I got from you was about 3 years back. It changed my life. It's changed everyone's realities I've seen who received the ASB sessions from you. And I think when you ask us, what would we like to receive from that session? And what we ask is so little as compared to what we really receive from that session.
I know.
Truly.
And that's okay. You
Yeah.
know, that's adorable that you mentioned that, because yeah, it is. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it
But
is.
again, it's
It
your
is.
willingness to receive there and
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
The
And
both of you.
that's, thank you for that, True. And thank you for bringing that up, Aradhana, because that's something that is such an invitation. And just being in your class. I remember last year when we had you in India, you and Julia, and we sat in your Talk to the Entities class, and so much changed for me. And it was sitting in your class that had me finally take the plunge and going in for the advanced and then going in for the facilitators. So even if people out there have been resisting something, just by sitting in your class, it has them receiving beyond that.
Yeah.
I can say that because that's what happened with me. And again, about what really is exciting me about your class, the 3-day body class, is that I've noticed the way you work with bodies and the way you work with energetically and otherwise. And that's what Isha and I often talk about, that how exciting would that be? I remember Radhana and I also had this conversation, that how exciting would it be to see Anthony actually working with his energetics and with the body processes. I mean, what just tapping into that energy has me actually getting goosebumps. It's so exciting. And I don't know, I don't have any words now.
It's awesome. You're speaking energy, which I love it. I'm getting turned on here. I got goosebumps all over my body just from
right?
This is awesome.
And that's your energy, right? That's you bringing it to India all the way. Wow.
Well, it's ours. It's us. And it's us, because you being able to actually convey what you're aware of. Well, Aranda has been able to convey what she's been aware of. And Isha, it's like, again, it's us. You're aware of something that's magical. And a lot of us forget about it. A lot of us sometimes don't even know that that's possible, but we have this little glimmer of hope in our world that maybe that is possible. Maybe that isn't just for everybody else, but maybe that could be for me too. So, I mean, your ability and willingness to convey that energy and what's actually possible for everyone is brilliant. So please acknowledge it.
Yeah. We are real happy bodies. We are really happy here. All our bodies are happy. It's like, right? We're like, yay, we're counting days. Countdown begins. Dr. Anthony Mattis coming to India.
Hey, and just, remember one thing too. One thing I want to point out too is every time you all choose to step into a certain level of potency, just know that there will be things that rise up. There will be unconsciousness and anti-consciousness that will rise up to stop you or to slow you down. Please don't let yourselves be at the effect of that, okay? Because we've all been implanted and explanted in other lifetimes to that if we were to reach, or when we do reach a certain level of potency, certain things are designed to rise up in our universe to stop us or slow us down or make us go into doubt and judgment of ourselves. So, and that's why sometimes a lot of craziness starts to pop up, like right before a class is going to happen. Just know it's not you, and it's really not about the people that are being insane around you. There's things beyond that as well. So just know when that shows up and outcreate it, and just outcreate it. Okay? Because there is nothing more powerful than you. And don't ever forget that. I know we all forget it sometimes, especially when we're so aware of these intense energies, but it's like, no, damn it. I know what's possible and available. Okay? And we have these tools available. And when in doubt, call Isha, run my bars. Things are getting kind of crazy right now, or, run my bars with holographic mutation, or do a facelift or whatever. I've chosen to commit to 25 facelifts, and it's been rocking my world, and so, God, we got all these tools available to us, and how do we get so lucky? But I'm really excited, and I can't wait to come, and I look forward to seeing all your beautiful faces there.
If I can just add something here, like, I don't even know where to start, but like my entire reality has been shifted since I came in contact with you, Anthony. So my body shifted, my reality shifted, my life has shifted, everything has shifted. So, and in this 1 year, my entire life has changed. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. And it still
Wow.
changes. So
That's fast.
thank you.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
yeah.
And what else is possible? And what else is possible beyond what you've all decided would be a magnificent life? What is actually possible beyond that? And are you willing to have a life that's beyond definition? Are you willing to have a life that's beyond form and structure? Are you willing to have a life that's beyond linearity? And just recently I called Gary and Dane actually, because I was actually freaking out. I woke up one morning in a panic and I knew it wasn't mine, but I wasn't able to change it. But what I had an awareness, I'm like, oh my God, I've actualized everything I thought would be a magnificent life. I have it. I have it. I have the house. I got the car, you know, like for me, like, right. And I realized I'm like, oh my God, this doesn't energetically match what I know is possible. So I called Gary. I'm like, I'm in a panic. I feel like I'm going to die tomorrow. I feel like my life is complete and it's time for me to die. He goes, yeah. He goes, it is. He's like, because you never asked for anything beyond what you currently have. I'm like, I know. I don't even know what to ask for. So he gave me this clearing. He goes, and I'll give it to you as a gift. He goes, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to have a life that I never knew I could have with total ease?
Wow.
And even talking to Dane about it, he goes, yeah, like,
Wow.
what is your new ask? And he goes, and what if it was undefinable? Because it's not about a bigger house. It's not about, you know, going from the car I have now to a Ferrari or something. It's not about any of that. It's about an energy that I know is possible. Otherwise, to me, what's the point of living if I'm not able to create that and have that in my life? Because I'm bored. I'll be honest with you. I'm bored sometimes, right? But it's like when I look at, but it's because there's more. I know that there's more available. And so that's the question I've been running. What energy, space, and consciousness can I be to have a life that I never knew I can have with totally. So I've been running the hell out of that. Like, what's your new ask?
That
And are
truly
you willing
is,
to
yeah,
ask to be undefinable?
wow. That's a question which really has no definition and absolutely no expectations. You just don't know what that could be tomorrow, right?
Correct.
And you're so willing
Correct.
to even receive that. Wow.
Correct.
That's so beautiful.
And like,
Wonderful.
yeah. And in these 10 seconds, what would you like to create? Like right now, I'm here with you in these 10 seconds. Like, how can we make this 10 seconds rock and be orgasmic?
Yeah. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So thank you. I'm excited to come and play with all of you. We're gonna get to go to Mumbai too. How does it get? And we're gonna go touring. We're gonna go see the Taj Mahal.
Did you see that? It's almost flooded.
No.
It's cleaning up for Anthony and Julia. That's the only way Mumbai knows to clean up.
Here we come, Mumbai.
Wonderful.
Right.
So we're looking forward to seeing everybody in class, and whoever would like to get a session with Dr. Anthony Mattis, please reach out. Or don't reach out, your life would change too much. Right, Radhana? Right, Isha?
Totally. And don't register and don't come to this.
Don't do it.
If you don't want
don't come to class. Yeah, absolutely don't come to class.
The classes,
let us
don't come to it. But the class is on the 20th. The class is on the 20th to the 22nd. It's at the Park Hotel in Delhi. But don't come.
Don't come. I'm just telling you that if you're looking for us, we'll be there.
Awesome.
Looking forward to have everybody.
Wonderful.
Grateful for all of them.
And we are going to be following to Mumbai, where Julia has her fabulous classes, Julia Sortis, and we will all get to meet her soon too. And Dr. Anthony will also be giving sessions in Mumbai.
Yeah.
Well,
Anthony, somebody wanted to know about the ASB energy. If you would mention a bit so they have an idea.
One more time. What's the question?
The ASB energy. Somebody's asking in the chat.
Yeah. What do they want to know?
They want to know what is it all about.
Oh
Some of
boy,
them don't know.
God, where do you
Yeah.
start? You know, Dane and Gary called my sessions Anthony's Synthesis of Being, the ASB, and so it's you're trying to explain the unexplainable. You know, the story of how ASB came about is actually on my website, so I don't want to bore you with the details of that. It's www.dr for DrAnthonyMattis.com, and you can listen to the story of how it came about. But Gary and Dane call my sessions Anthony's Synthesis of Being. What had happened was 4 years ago, I was just doing chiropractic services on Gary and Dane's bodies, and Gary's body started jumping all over the place. And then he said, hey, you have very similar, not the same, but similar capacities as Dane. You're able to tap into the ESB, energetic synthesis of being universe. And we would like you to do sessions and step into this capacity that you have if you would like. And I'm like, who, me? Who the hell am I? You know, so, but I jumped in because it matched the energy of what I always desired my whole entire life, even though I had a lot of doubt. And I was like, they're just saying this because they need more men in access, you know? That was my point of view. Seriously. And so I did. And boy, oh boy, all I can say is that because I made that choice, it's opened up universes upon universes upon universes that I cannot explain in words. It's energetic, and it brings tears to my eyes, because once you become aware of that, and it's not tangible, it's not palpable, you can't explain it scientifically. It's just a knowing in this space, and it like consumes you. But you think at first it's something that's outside of you. It's not. Access consciousness, it was like stepping into that, working on the guys' bodies, and then starting to work on people. I got access to more of me, my being, and everybody else, and this whole universe. And guess what? There's no ceiling to it. There's no end to it. There's no definition to it. There's no boundaries. There's no cap. And so ASB to me is just an invitation for you to have more of you, to have more communion with your body, to destroy and uncreate the limitations that are keeping you from having the life that you know is possible, or that you've been implanted and explanted to forget that's possible. And so it's just an invitation to have more of you. And whatever that is, I don't know. But to me, it's one of the greatest gifts that I'm able to contribute and be in the world. And I feel like one of the luckiest people in the world to be able to provide that and facilitate that. So I hope that answers your question, though. Is it?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was great.
So, all right. I adore all of you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Anthony.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.